Some of us may rely on key things that keep them entertained, like toys, walks in a stroller, or even cartoons on the family television.
It's spooky season, everyone, so I'm delivering you guys some horror content. Hope you're happy with this. I'm currently, while this video is uploaded, being processed, it's probably gonna be like 12 a.m. where I'm at when it's uploaded. I'm currently working on the the dot flow iceberg. That thing is thick. We got community posts now, so y'all can check that, see my progress on it, keep an eye on me. But I'm working on it. I'm gonna try to get at least the first 2 tiers done, and then I'll hopefully have that video out for you guys to enjoy. Yeah, so that's just my little intro. Enjoy the video. Throughout my life, there's always been at least 2 things that never failed to scare me. One of those things being one of those Lovecraftian type of beings, or SCP type beings, the things that you can't really combat, like Cthulhu or the Scarlet King, stuff that's on a huge scope, out of our proportions, otherworldly. And then the second thing being those analog scary little videos. Sometimes they mean to be scary, like Local 58, and other times they don't, like older commercials that we watched as a kid, or even mere sound effects, like that one thing, what is it called? The THX boom, I think is what it is. Luckily for me, I found a channel recently through my recommended that is all those things combined, and it is called the Mandela Catalogue. The Mandela Catalogue, to summarize really quickly because I'm not going to go too much in depth, is an analog horror series that follows a world or universe where there are alternatives or alternates of each human, or I suppose it's each human or maybe even each being, that is essentially trying to replace them. And the way that it's done is kind of confusing. There are videos that go more in depth. I'm not going to talk deeply into it here because there's already videos that do it better than I probably could. Wendigoon has a good video. It's right here. I believe his name is Wildman. He has a good video. It's right here. Sorry, Mike. It's right here. Check any of these 2 out. They've already made great content about it, so I won't go too much in depth. I'm more so here to talk about the things that scared me in these videos. So, sit back, relax, go grab your popcorn, because today we're going to talk a little bit about analog horror and what is definitely one of the scariest things I've seen in a while, outside of just pure video games or jump scare, shock, etc., etc. Let's dive right in.
I am the angel Gabriel. I've come to bring good news. Starting with the channel's first video, Overthrown, a lot of just weird and off-putting vibes are present in what appears to be an altered biblical cartoon of some sort. I used to actually watch these because I used to go to a Christian academy, so I think that's why this hits a lot closer to home and why it's a lot more creepy for me than it probably should be. But we'll talk a little more about the video itself in just a second. Just slow down. Let me add some context. Let me add some content, some flesh to the meat, if you know what I'm saying. To me, at least, seeing creepy, unexpected edits and children's media is always it's jarring. It's off-putting, especially when it's coupled with creepy whispering and weird edits and loud sound effects. It's just how I feel personally. Things that are unusual, uncanny, unexpected in certain situations is pretty much what this is. You don't expect something talking about religion to take such a dark turn. That dark turn is what I'm going to go into. Long story short, one of the alternates replaces Jesus in this universe. Keep in mind, these alternates are seemingly beings of pure chaos and malice and misintent. We don't really know for sure what they're on about because the series is still fresh, but it's safe to assume that due to the amount of victims they have claimed through their psychological warfare, which will go more in depth as we continue. The way that the Jesus alternate face melds into this creepy ass Germa sus face while whispering these things to the shepherds about knowing their deepest fears and all this other crazy stuff, it makes you question what, in terms of religions, is true. It's not enough to make you go into a deep thought like on some Illuminati speculatory shit, but it's enough just to make you stop for a second and think, what if this was the universe we lived in? What if this was true? Obviously it's not, thank God for that, or the alternate God. But point being, seeing such creepy symbolism in religion in a way that is hard to really defy it and say, oh, this isn't true, always leaves you room to think. And coupled with the creepy imagery, weird audio, and all this other stuff, it just makes for such a creepy watch. And I hope the clips I threw in kind of, made that clear. I do think this is the least creepy of them all that's on the channel, but I do think in a way it has the most profound effect on people depending on their background.
We are currently receiving countless reports of an unidentified hostile organism that we'll refer to as alternates. Until we have a complete understanding of the threat, it's important to stay home, lock all doors and windows, and have access to a loaded firearm or any ranged weapon at all times.
Mandela Catalogue Volume 8 contains the most creepy content of them all. It starts off showing the alternates and what to do if you encounter them, which is not much, I'll be honest. We'll get into that. The thing about the alternates, however, is that they exist on a separate plane of existence than us until they find a host of some sort. I'm assuming the host has to be the exact person that they are an alternate of. So they couldn't, like, alternate couldn't get you killed and possess your body if they're not a clone of you, is what I'm thinking here. Like I said, this is all speculatory because we don't know much, but it would make sense. If it doesn't creep you out that something can merely grasp your control of your body through saying mere words to you or forcing you into a situation where you off yourself, just keep watching and we'll get more into depth.
If you see a person that has a biologically impossible characteristic, run away and hide. If one manages to break into your home, refrain from any kind of communication or contact with the threat. These intelligent life forms utilize elements of psychological warfare to take advantage of their victims.
An alternate is confronted by a character called Mark in this story, who attempts to execute one of these things, as the guide said was possible earlier, that you are able to take on these things if you have the proper firepower and the proper equipment. Mark learns that that's not true. It leads to Mark either shooting this creature or shooting himself, which results in his death, and assumably his body is going to be taken control by his alternate. The alternate that convinced him to come out and actually fight was an alternate of his friend's mother. I'll play a little bit of audio of what that sounded like when she was trying to break into his room.
Let me in, Mark. I have a gift for you. I have a present. I have a surprise. I will not hurt.
Near the very end of this video, a short story by the character Mark when he was younger speaks of weird recurring intruders, or an intruder, in his old home, who looks like this. Would you want that intruder in your house? I wouldn't. I don't want any intruders in my house, but you get my point. Like, if anyone were to rob my house, I wouldn't want it to be whatever that fish looking ass dude is. The last thing on the channel that really bothered me was in the intruder alert video. So this video does go in depth more about how to combat these things, but as I said, we come to learn that there is no true combating of them. This is all just propaganda being spread to keep people from panicking. There is no defeating them as of right now in the series, right? It gets to a point where they're telling parents what to do if their child is heard crying in another room or something like that. The way it's presented is as if an alternate created this, because they're telling them don't enter the room until your child stops crying.
If you hear your child screaming or crying in front of the television, wait until your child stops making noise before entering the room. You will...
The mother in this video enters the room while the child is crying, checks the cradle to see where her child is or what's wrong, and suddenly the crying stops and the child is gone. She then approaches the TV, which is on, and I believe the TV is just playing music, and the intruder shows up on the screen. Another creepy, germa, sus face looking ass dude. It is safe to assume this sus dude did something sus with that baby. Probably snatched it up. I'm assuming that if an alternate can come into a plane of existence, it can take things from it into its own. That's how it seems, at least. We don't see any blood. Obviously, I don't know if there's alternates of babies, but we didn't see any blood or any sign that the baby was harmed in any way, just that it vanished right as she checked the cradle, as if the alternate interacted with it and pulled it into its own plane of existence. Because keep in mind, they exist on different planes than us. So right now, an alternate could whisper some shit in my ear and there's nothing I can do. But at the same time, there's nothing the alternate can do until I'm deceased and it takes my body. I believe the video says 97% of people who are interacted with by the alternates off of themselves, which means I would likely become one of these things because of that psychological warfare. And that is scary. That inevitability is scary. Anyways, after the mother checks the TV and sees the sus germa looking ass dude, video just falls silent. And I'll just let the rest of that play here.
Mandela Catalogue is what I dreamed of a real life creepypasta being. It's something I stumbled across on accident, had unexpected scares, and it had a profound, prolonged fear on me. I won't say that I was like paranoid to like go outside or talk to people or anything, but I did find that when I went to take my dog out tonight, and I was just walking him, it was like 8 p.m. It's pretty dark here at 8 p.m. and I was just walking him. I noticed I was like looking around, checking my back, and I kept seeing that weird intruder's face that they show during Mark's letters or his stories, and it's very, very disturbing. And I believe that other channels should try to follow in the footsteps of this. There is another channel I do want to talk about. I believe that the videos that they post are called Blue Channel or something like that, and it's quite similar, and I'll hopefully discuss that during this spooky season. And yeah, that's it. That's all I'm here to say. It's your boy Zereph signing off. Peace. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the spooky videos I have coming for you guys. Peace.